In the early 70s, Homer Warner began using computers to collect data and provide clinical decision support at the bedside. When I was first in graduate school in 1994, we heard the story of how they created a computer program to identify abnormally high labs at LDS Hospital. They were very excited they could do it, and they needed a way to notify the nurses. They hooked up a police light to the computer in the ER, and every time an abnormally high lab came over, the light went off. You can guess what happened. The nurses first put a towel over it and then had it disabled within an hour. An important lesson I learned early on was that you can't separate the algorithm from its delivery. At UT Southwestern, the Clinical Decision Support and Regulatory Reporting team is responsible for designing, developing, and maintaining decision support tools within the EMR. Their goal is to enhance clinical workflows by providing timely, evidence-based guidance to healthcare clinicians at the point of care. The team collaborates closely with clinicians, informaticists, and IT professionals to ensure that the CDS tools are effective, user-friendly, and aligned with the goals of UT Southwestern. There are many tools in the toolbox that the CDS team apply, including creating alerts, reminders, order sets, care paths, registries, and practice advisories. Registries are powerful mechanisms for pulling together data from a patient population based on a specified criteria for inclusion, which is often the prediction of risk, and then displaying the data in a way that the care team can identify gaps in outcomes or unfilled needs of individuals who have a high likelihood of risk. This insight can then guide CDS solutions targeted to people who need it at the most. There are over 200 registries used at UT Southwestern for clinical care delivery. The Cardiology South Asian Heart Program was introduced to me by Nathan Smith. The program is designed to keep patients from falling through the cracks. It delivers proactive, culturally tailored care for South Asians who have a higher risk of heart disease. The CDS team worked with the clinical team to build a system that uses an algorithm to identify patients most at risk and then delivers information to those patients through MyChart. The information focuses on patient education, it emphasizes heart health management tools, and it offers chances to be involved in clinical trials. Recommendations for testing and exams are adjusted based on physical and cultural nuances of the population. The goal is to close care gaps by combining a risk prediction algorithm with delivery of support that's tailored to them, that they're more likely to respond to. Lisa Brown is working on a fall risk prediction system that's being piloted in 3 floors at UT Southwestern and plans to go hospital-wide next year. One of my main questions when I met with the team was, how did these projects start? In this case, somebody was working on a 6 Sigma Black Belt project and was curious. They saw the existing falls prevention system and wondered if they could improve it. Nurses enter data based on a risk scale calculator, then an algorithm calculates the risk in the background, and a care plan is generated for the patient in the form of fall tips. The fall tips are based on the learning that getting patients involved in falls prevention while they're in the hospital is the most effective way to decrease falls. So how do you engage patients? How do you move from an insight to operationalizing it in practice? The CDS team is critical in designing and building feasible interventions. A few things that are making this program succeed are they have vastly decreased the amount of data required for the prediction algorithm, so nurses are more likely to fill it out. Also, they've linked the data collected directly to actions that can be taken. So if the patient may forget or choose not to call, which is the purple part of the form here, an alarm is turned on so that if they start to get out of bed, a nurse is notified. They've developed personalized posters for each patient that they post in their room to engage them. Patients with potential medication side effects, which is the yellow part here, are notified through the poster to get assistance when walking and using the bathroom. I'm looking forward to seeing how well this works. Just like the yellow flashing lights, we'll continue to see CDS systems implemented in a way that users won't accept. Low provider adoption rates are still a barrier to realizing the potential of CDS. There have been a lot of papers published on this topic that provide guidance. A theme that comes through a lot of these papers is that effective CDS requires paying attention to 3 things: people, processes and organization, and technology. Simple, right? We went to the Dallas Botanical Garden this weekend for the first time. It was gorgeous. We saw what I think was a red neon skimmer dragonfly. Never seen one of those before. The highlight was the Pumpkin Village. I love the coming together of nature and art. When we rescued Shy in Melbourne, she had been locked in a backyard alone for 5 years. So when we finally convinced her she was allowed to come into the house, she jumped on the couch and she has practically never left. She's the queen of the couch.